Imagine standing on top of the wind-swept dunes of North Carolina's Outer Banks. The salty air rolls in from the Atlantic Ocean as the sun sinks below the horizon. It's one of the most beautiful places in America, where wild horses still roam, flight was invented, and a mystery endures for more than 4 centuries. This is Roanoke Island. The first English child was born here in the New World, and where an entire colony of more than 100 people vanished without a trace, and only one cryptic clue was found, a word carved into a fence post. Fast forward 400 years, a young woman arrived on the same island to perform in the Lost Colony, the outdoor drama that tells the story of those missing settlers. And she herself goes missing and then is found murdered. On this episode of Spirits Uncorked, we're heading to the Outer Banks, North Carolina, to explore 2 haunting mysteries connected by one place. What happened to the Lost Colony, and what happened to Brenda Holland? Welcome to Spirits Uncorked, everybody. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Erica.
We are diving into 2 mysteries today. A historic mystery and a little bit of true crime, which we don't do a lot of true crime, so that's going to be kind of cool. And we're talking about one of our favorite places, one of our pretty common vacation places. But first we have to talk about what we're drinking. What are you drinking, Erica?
It's called Juggernaut. And it's a hillside Cabernet, and it has like really cool art on it. I don't know, there's a lot of a glare, but
like a lion.
Something ate those people, so that's how I'm tying it in. It says, Juggernaut grapes are grown in challenging conditions where true grit and determination yield spectacular results. The reward is a fierce, brave, velvety wine with intense black fruit and hints of vanilla and anise, leading to a long, bold finish. Overcoming hardship builds character.
Where did you get that from?
I got this from a wine store in Philadelphia when I was there for the Craft Brewers Conference.
What made you want to get it?
The art.
Oh, just the bottle.
I was like, this looks cool. I should get it. And I have not tried it yet. I did pour myself a glass, so let's see what it's about. It sounds a little scary. It's really good.
Oh, good.
It's dry. It's not super bitter. It tastes pretty earthy. And look at my NASCAR colored nails. I went to NASCAR this weekend.
Oh, very cool.
I know, I'm a redneck.
I see. Good
I got a
you.
suntan, though.
I'm drinking something super cool. So, we're talking about the Outer Banks. First of all, I'm wearing an Outer Banks t-shirt. Look.
I should have put my hoodie on.
So, something that people should know is that I have been going to the Outer Banks every summer for the last 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
This is our 10th summer. We just got back. 10th summer in a row. And so we love the Outer Banks. Beautiful place. And we go with our brother, and the cousins play, and it's a lovely time. And we always get a house. We rent a house on the beach, and it's super cool. So we went shopping one day, and we went into this wine shop, and I literally thought, I'm going to get a bottle of wine from here so that we can do an episode about something from the Outer Banks, and then I can be like, ooh, I got this bottle of wine from the Outer Banks, and then I'll win. So I won this episode.
Fine.
Yeah.
Even though mine is still cool.
Because look what it's called. It's called Battle Axe, and it has a bloody axe on it.
Oh, Lord.
Look. It has a bloody axe, and it's dripping blood. Well, you know what else would have been good is, I don't know if you see them all the time. I see them all the time in grocery stores. It's like that sweet muscadine wine because those grapes, I guess, grow there at the Outer Banks. That like it's like really, really sweet. Muscadine, some kind of grape called muscadine. Anyways, that would have worked too, but this is really cool. So this is a Malbec, which I have been getting into, Erica, because I know about that grape. It originated in France, but you always see these Malbec wines from Argentina.
Yeah.
And so this is a red wine, but as opposed to just a red like Sauvignon, it's more fruity. So it's like more fruit forward than just like what you're drinking.
Yeah.
Which is, so this is why I like Malbecs better.
I do have some friends who did a semester in Argentina, came back obsessed with Malbec. So
really?
Yeah.
But here's what I don't get is that you can get red or white. So I don't know why you can have both.
I've never seen a white Malbec before.
I brought one when we did that thing in Nashville. I brought one. I don't know if you had any.
Oh, maybe I did see it. Yeah.
Anyways, I'll have to get another one next time. So there we go. I learned a little bit about wine, a little bit of a thing.
We know some stuff. And my friend, who I'm actually like doing this at his house because my internet is so terrible all the time. He went to like a sommelier school. He went to a sommelier school and he gave me 2 huge books. So I'm going to have to send you some pictures. And
okay.
If we can plan a wine ahead of time, I can send us like actual stuff like sommeliers learn about.
Yeah.
Like we could actually get good at this.
I mean, we could start by learning the different kinds of grapes. Yeah. Right? Like we could start with that. Yeah. I guess Malbec is a kind of grape.
Yes.
Right?
It appears as though there are many different kinds of grapes.
And this is the kind of wine that it makes.
Yeah.
All this to say, I got this wine in the Outer Banks, North Carolina. And people may or may not be super familiar with this really interesting historical mystery of the Lost Colony of Roanoke. So, in short, these English settlers came over. John White, he dropped off these like 115 people, including his pregnant daughter, who, by the way, gave birth to the very first English person in the New World. Dropped him off, went back for more supplies, and then when he came back, they were all gone. And nobody knows what happened to them. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about some specifics and some theories, and yeah, it's crazy.
In 1584 is when they sent scouts, and they were sent by Sir Walter Raleigh, and they decided that it was friendly indigenous people, fertile land, and then it was 1585, so a year later, that's when they sent, it says 100 men to establish Roanoke Island. And then the relations with the local tribes kind of went downhill. And so it also led to some conflict. And in 1587, that's when the second colony arrives. The group of 115 settlers, including women and children this time. The governor was John White, and his daughter was Eleanor Dare. And she gave birth to Virginia Dare on August 18th, 1587.
And that was the very first English child born in the New World. And there's like statues and street names and all kinds of stuff about Virginia Dare.
Yeah, and that's cool that that was her last name. I dare you. But yeah, so John White returns to England in late 1587. So he wasn't even there a whole year.
Because they were getting low on food and supplies. He had to go back and get more stuff.
So, but then he gets back there and he's delayed from 1588 to 1590 because the English became consumed by the threat of the Spanish Armada, and the ships were needed for defense for that.
Right.
So he
got stuck. He basically got stuck there for like
3 years.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And when he finally returned, everybody was gone. And the houses were dismantled. Everything was gone. No bodies, no signs of battle, no evidence of a massacre. And the only thing he found were 2 carvings. Crow, C-R-O, carved into a tree, and Croatoan, carved into a wooden post. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island named as today's Hatteras Island. Hatteras. Cape
Hatteras, yeah.
Yeah. The home of a friendly indigenous group. So, I mean, there's like all kinds of theories, but there's very little evidence of what was supposed to... And, okay, so one thing that I had heard on another podcast was the settlement was supposed to leave certain signs on the trees for him should anything happen. So the problem is he didn't understand what he was reading. So it was supposed to be a visible name of their destination. But the destination that they left is not where he found them. He never found them again.
Yeah, but he never found a trace. Not a single trace.
Mm-mm.
So it's not like the houses were empty or anything. They were gone.
But it does say historically that there were so many bad storms that he was not able to go to the Croatoan island. And I just kind of feel like, all right, well, stick it out, bro, until the storm passes and then go there. Because that's probably where they were.
Also, like, it's your daughter and your granddaughter. Like, I would be like, okay, guys, go back to Spain without me or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stay here and look for my
children. Yeah.
Super weird.
No. Dad wouldn't leave us like that. That's messed up. So
that's messed up.
He was a punk.
John White the punk. Okay. But then there's like, there's all these theories because there was an earlier conflict with some Native American tribes that were not friendly. So that was a theory, that they were taken or kidnapped. And then there was like, Native Americans with blue eyes, So it's like that it wasn't friendly, that they were kidnapped and forced, to like, whatever, to be part of the tribe.
Right.
So that's one theory. And then another theory is that like the weather can be really, really bad. And like maybe they did just all die, like some catastrophic.
It could be that they all died, and even the friendly indigenous tribes that were around the area took the things that they wanted. I mean, it was years before he returned.
Yeah.
Maybe they were really nice and buried the bodies and took what they wanted, and so then there was no trace. Now, I don't know if they did any sweeping of the grounds. Probably not. But...
Well, what is so mysterious about it is that years and years later, we surely would have uncovered some evidence. And
something.
Right. And there isn't any. Like, I think that they have, so in the place that you were talking about, the Croatoan tribe, or the region or whatever, I think they uncovered...
Are there frogs in the background?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We live in a place where there's frogs.
I just wanted to double check.
They're very loud.
Okay.
And our windows aren't great.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I got a good microphone though.
Yeah.
But like, so when they do all the digging and the archaeological digs and stuff in that place where they think like the Croatoan, is, they didn't really uncover a whole lot. Like they uncovered like some pieces of like old English pots.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would think there would be more if that's where they all went to. Because they dismantled all of their houses. They
Yeah.
took everything they owned was gone.
Right.
That is like the 400-year-old mystery because there is no definitive answer.
Yeah. You're never gonna know.
If you're listening, if you've heard of this, tell us what your thoughts are. What do you think has happened? Because, yeah, that is kind of what the obvious answer. Croatoan. That's, I guess, was a
Yeah.
friendly, right, indigenous tribe, and that's what they think.
And I think I read,
But there's no
like,
evidence of it. There's literally no evidence that they ever were there. That's the problem.
no, but I think that they had touched base with them. Like, they knew that they were friendly and that they would take them in if they needed it.
I can see how the Outer Banks would be kind of a scary place to be weather-wise if you
Mm,
didn't have like a safe place. You know what I mean? It's very, it can be a scary place with the wind and the hurricanes.
it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. So, I don't know. 400-year-old mystery. So, I mean, what do you think about time slips?
I'm all about it. I'm a big dimension person, so I'm totally into it.
I mean,
Maybe
but
aliens are
truly,
involved in this.
I'm being kind of serious though.
I'm also being serious. They've literally been confirmed by the government.
I'm not even talking about aliens. I'm just talking about what if they did slip into another dimension because there's absolutely no evidence that they were there.
Then I'm all about that. I'm also being serious. I'm a huge dimension person. Something
I wish
happened.
there was more evidence about time slips and like multidimensional things. I wish we could
Yeah,
have like more evidence other than just,
the
you know,
sociological Mandela effect,
yeah.
because that's not extremely scientific. It's just everybody convinced of one thing.
But that would be a pretty good case for it, just up and disappeared. And it's kind of too bad that the first, like, we don't know what happened to Virginia Dare. So we don't know, you can't trace that lineage back to, like, the first person born on the new world. You can't, because nobody knows what happened to her. You know what I think makes things frustrating in this day and age is that we have all the answers at our fingertips, right? Like we can just Google like what's the answer. When there's like a movie, you can just like Google what's the ending of this movie. But there's some things that we'll just never ever know the answer to.
Well, I mean,
Is that good or frustrating?
I think it's good because we are kind of part of the last generation that used to have to write our papers, use encyclopedias. We didn't have the internet at our fingertips. And I don't remember being frustrated by that.
Yeah.
Because when I did learn how to figure out the answer to something, that was like new and cool. But when I didn't know the answer, I just had to figure it out. And there was no frustration in my mind like, why can't I look this up? Like now if I lose Wi-Fi or internet service, it's like, why won't this work? But before, do you ever remember feeling that way, like, why can't I just know? Because
No.
we were given that opportunity later in our lives, but that's just a privilege that you learn to appreciate. That's why we're all screwed if anything happens, because everybody's used to being able to just do that and not learn how to find the answers anymore or accept that there are no answers.
Yeah. And we're the last of our kind.
I can't wait until they do like psychological studies on like Gen X and millennials. And I'll give Gen Z a little shout out. Fine. But just like a little one.
I want to
So
say that you've barely made the cut, though.
I'm literally in the middle of millennial. You are an elder millennial. I am smack dab in the middle.
But weren't you born after the internet was invented?
No, I was born before the internet was invented.
Okay.
I remember, and that's funny that you even say that because I remember when we got our first computer, we didn't have Google, we didn't have Ask Jeeves, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have none of that. I was on Paint, Oregon Trail. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
I want somebody to. I've looked for this game. Do you remember the game Gapper? It was like you go in squares. I looked for this game because I wanted the boys to play it. I'm like, look what I had to play when I was little. It was like
Minefield?
you just. No. You just trace the squares, and then there's a little gap in the line, and then you have to like go backwards before you get to the gap. And then eventually you just speed up, and then there gets to be more and more squares that you have to trace. Oh, please, somebody listening, please tell me that you remember the game Gapper that you played on the enormous desktop in your parents' basement.
Oh, it was a retro puzzle game originally released for the desktop in 1986. Anyway, let's move on.
I love when we get off on little tangents.
Yes. Okay, so you had a mystery, a death, a true crime.
True crime, and we don't do a lot of true crime. So I'm kind of excited.
You're going to have to tell me about this because I didn't.
I will tell you all about it. What you have to do now is you have to think about the year. Speaking of retro, you have to go to the year 1967 in your mind.
Okay.
Okay? In the Outer Banks. If you have been to the Outer Banks and you've been to Manteo, you know what I'm talking about. And they've got the pirate ship, and I think we did a ghost tour. We did a walking ghost tour there because it's all kinds of haunted. Lots of tourist attractions there. One of the things that you can do is you can go to a dramatic recreation of what happened in the Lost Colony. So it's a dramatic recreation of John White coming over to the New World with the 115 people. And yeah, it's called The Lost Colony. It's a drama, right? That has been running for decades, Erica.
What?
You watch it outdoors. You buy tickets to it. It has been running for decades. And this will blow your mind. Guess who was an actor on that drama decades ago?
Who?
You won't guess. Andy freaking Griffith.
What?
Yes.
That's so funny.
He was an actor on the Lost Colony at Roanoke, at the Outer Banks. And that's kind of one of the places that he got started. And then he would like go perfect his little comedy act later at different clubs. Yeah.
Is he from that area?
I don't know. Google it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the Lost Colony, that little drama has been running for decades, and you can still go and buy tickets to it when you're on vacation there. Tourists go to it all the time, the Lost Colony, because like we said, the mystery of the Lost Colony and what happened to them is still intriguing people to this very day, right?
Oh, yeah, I love it, yeah.
So, in 1967, Brenda Holland was an actor in this show. Okay? And she was a young woman, 19 or 20 years old. By all accounts, a hard worker. She loved theater, she loved art, and she planned to go to college. She did kind of come from a difficult family life. Her parents didn't get along great. Her father had some PTSD from war, and he was an addict. He was physically abusive with his wife and with his kids. So not a great home life, but did not deter her spirit. So by all accounts, just a really, really great young woman, had a good life in front of her. She was very optimistic, hard worker. A lot of people said, because she did several productions, and a lot of people said we could not have done that production without knowing she was going to be there to do the hard work for us and with us. So, really great reputation. Okay, so she was really excited to be in the cast of The Lost Colony. She went on a date with a guy named Danny. He was another cast member in The Lost Colony. They went on a date, and she was never seen again. So they noticed that she was gone when she didn't show up to the show the next day. The stage manager or whatever, he's asking around, where the heck is Brenda? What's going on? Danny, didn't you guys go out last night? Danny says, yeah, we went out, but I dropped her off at like 2 a.m. at her house. Well, whoever was standing next, standing around was like, no, you didn't. And I know that's not true because it was like a roommate situation. It was like, I live with her, or I live next door or something. It was something like that where they were like, I know that's not true because it couldn't be true because we lived together or whatever, and I was there, and I know that didn't come happen. In.
Exactly. Yeah.
And immediately called him out. This wasn't like the police were not involved yet. And he immediately had to backtrack right then and there. He was like, oh yeah, I remember now. First we had to blah, 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 blah. So he immediately changed his story, okay? So that was like the first red flag. So Danny kind of screwed himself over immediately, and he never escaped being the main suspect. Now, they looked and looked, the family is searching, everybody's worried about her. They put together a massive search party for her, and right away somebody is heard making the connection about, we're searching for a lost loved one. She vanished without a trace. And isn't it a coincidence that she played a role where people vanished without a trace? So it's like somebody's heard saying that, and it just kind of gives everybody this spine-tingling chill. Sure enough, about 5-6 days later, they see a body floating in the Sound, and the authorities are called. Now, the authorities did not do a great job. Okay.
Shock.
Well, it was the 60s.
Okay, we didn't have a lot to work with.
But we'll get into that in a little bit. The police, or the authorities, I don't want to say, because there was a sheriff, there was an investigator, there was local, I don't know who was who. So if you're interested, I'm going to recommend a book to you, and you can read the book if you want to get into the details of this, of who did what. But I'm just going to say the authorities, they get the body, and they call a photographer to photograph the body. The photographer is just a photographer. It's not a crime scene photographer. They notice that there's a necklace. It's a cross necklace. The photographer takes the necklace off to give to the family. Also, they don't call the family to identify the body. They call Danny, because the investigator at the time wants to see Danny's reaction. They want to see, because the body's in rough shape. It's been floating around. It don't look good. Mm-hmm. And they want to see, what does Danny do when he's identifying? Does he freak out? Does he crumble? Does he act guilty? What happens? Well, actually, Danny holds up pretty decently. He identifies, yep, that's Brenda. He doesn't do anything super crazy. They identify that it's her. They don't arrest Danny because there's just not enough evidence.
But nobody in the family identified her.
Oh, it was definitely her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were leading up to a loophole here.
Well, we're leading up to the police really screwed this up. Danny does not get arrested, but over the years, a few other suspects emerge. There's a dentist. His name is Dr. somebody, but his first name is Linus. We're just going to call him Dr. Linus. He's a drunk. He's her dad's kind of like friend. So remember, her dad's abusive. Mm-hmm. He's not a great guy. He's kind of a jerk. And he says, I made out with her. In a drunken state. He's like, yeah, we made out. His wife, Dottie, says, yeah, in a drunken state, he tells me that he killed her. He's very abusive to his wife. His wife is tall and blonde. It turns out that Brenda is also kind of tall and blonde. They both sort of look alike. And Linus kind of confesses in a drunken state that he sees Brenda walking around that night after she was supposedly dropped off by Danny and strangles her, mistakenly thinking that it's his wife in a drunken, he's like a major big time drunk, right? That's what Dottie, his wife, says at some point that he confessed to her. Now, there might be some actual credibility to that because eventually Linus, he's a very troubled guy. He ends up going to rehab later. He gets out of rehab. The day he gets out of rehab, somebody drops him off at his house, leaves for a short amount of time, comes back, and Linus has killed himself.
Oh.
There is some evidence that Linus was writing sort of like a confession, and there's some evidence leading to the fact that perhaps the sheriff is trying to cover for Linus. Small town, people cover things up, things like that. This is all
boys.
You're right, exactly. This is all outlined in a book by John Railey, Railey, who is a journalist and who has spent a lot of time digging into the evidence on all of this. So if you really want to get into the weeds, he goes into why there might have been a cover-up by the sheriff for Linus, for Dr. Linus. Now, the other suspect who emerges happens to be somebody else who confessed. Another person confesses who was driving around in a car that night. He confesses, but it turns out it becomes discredited because he's a little bit mentally disabled. And he says, I just wanted the sheriff to get off my back. They said if I just confessed, they would leave me alone. So that's another reason why it's like, what is the sheriff's office doing here? Why do they want this mentally disabled person to confess so bad? What's happening here? Why are they leaning on him to confess? The other thing, going back to the evidence that was badly tainted. Here's something else that's really, really bad. When she was found in the water, the police chief had her clothes taken to the laundromat before it was sent for testing.
That's tampering with evidence.
I want to say it's the 60s and they just didn't.
No way. You can't be that dumb. He's definitely somebody. I bet it was the sheriff. Let's go get him. Is he still alive?
I don't know. So, I mean,
somebody needs to find him with a baseball bat and tell him what's up. Because what in the hell?
Again, the photographer wasn't even a crime scene photographer. He took the necklace off of her. There's several other things that happened that was like, what are you, stupid? What is going on here?
There's a level of ignorance, which I could understand that if you just genuinely don't know, like, oh, this is a keepsake for her family. But a sheriff taking clothes off, sending it to the laundromat, and then, oh, now they need to test it.
That was the police chief. So there's two different, that's what I mean, all these different authorities. There's a police chief and then there's a sheriff.
It doesn't matter. Like, you're like in law enforcement. You don't mess with the crime scene.
So that's what I mean. That's why. So hold on. Let me go ahead and give credit to the podcast that I listened to. Okay, so the podcast that I listened to where I got a lot of this information, not all of it, but a good deal, is called Missing in the Carolinas. There's also a book by John Railey. Like I said, a journalist who really delves deep, trying to get justice for Brenda Holland, because nobody has ever been charged for her murder. Never. And Danny is dead. So if it was Danny, he's dead. Now, Danny went on to get married, and it kind of turns out he's like sort of been a pretty stand-up guy, like the rest of his life. And the woman he married is like, I just don't see that ever, I don't know.
That took a lot of faith from her in the first place.
It did. But
also, I want to go after the dude who sent her clothes off to get her laundry done. Nope. He's the one. He killed her. He did it. And even if he didn't, then he's the culprit who, like,
he needs to be prosecuted for incompetence. It would have been the police chief in Roanoke in 1967.
Well, I hope he's still alive, because I'm coming for you, bro.
All right. Well, so very sad because, like I said, cold case, nobody ever arrested. No evidence enough to arrest anybody.
That's so sad.
Just the fact that we were talking about, so we decided we were going to talk about the Lost Colony, and I was just doing some Googling about that and came across her case, and she was an actor in the Lost Colony. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that is crazy.
So anyways, if you're from the area, if you've heard something about this, we would love to hear about it. If you've got some theories about Brenda, if you've got some theories about what happened with the Lost Colony, if you just live in the Outer Banks, we love the Outer Banks. So we're right there with you. And whatever else thoughts you have, we would love to hear them. But right now we've got to do a Would You Rather.
Oh, this is a good one. I like this. Would you rather find a diary from Virginia Dare or a map leading to where the colonists disappeared?
Diary.
Same. But, I mean, that's intriguing for both ends.
Absolutely. Which truth would you rather know? Would you rather know what happened to the Lost Colony, or would you rather know who killed Brenda Holland?
Ooh. I think because it's so close and relevant to us, I would want to know what happened to Brenda Holland.
You think so?
Because if they're still alive, I'm going to find them.
If it's Danny, he's dead.
I know. If it's Danny, he's dead, and that sucks. But
well, and if it's the other guy, he's dead too, because he killed himself.
Well, these bunch of cowards. Okay, fine. I guess I'll go with Lost Colony, but also, I don't know, because her family could then at least know for sure.
Yeah.
And that could be just a subtle, like, okay, now we finally know, even if it's generations on, but to have those kind of mysteries in your family lore can be upsetting.
Do you think it's more important for society to have a 400-year-old mystery solved, or do you think it's more important for the family to have a family tragedy solved?
So I think it's almost, and I hate to say it this way, but I'm going to say it because we're all thinking it. It's fun to have these old mysteries, to lore about them, because it's not connected to us in a direct way.
It's so far removed, yeah.
It's so far removed, but to be able to end a family's like real tragedy that was so recent, I think that is way more important. Yeah. That's just, I almost feel like a sense of morality for that.
Yeah, right.
But you guys, give us answers for your would you rathers or some of your ideas for all of this stuff.
Yes, please do. Also, please give us a good rating on Apple and or Spotify because people keep going and just
they don't like us.
They just keep giving us a 1-star rating on Apple Podcasts. No review, no explanation, just 1 star, and then that's it. So if you could counteract that, we'd appreciate it.
If you're actually listening to the podcast, then there must be some reason you like us. That would be cool if you said it. But if you don't like us, then just don't continue listening. That's cool too. I get it. We all get it. Free will. We have free will.
Right. Okay. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.